Hi there. So you wanted to join the Illuminati, is this correct? Totally cool. A lot of people want to join, but the question is, can they join? So let's do some preliminary questions. First things first, what is your full name, including middle name, initial, suffix, all of that jazz? Okay. Okay, right. Okay, excellent. Now, what is your street address? Okay. Perfect. And do you happen to have any loved ones? I mean, family members? Okay. And their names, please. Do they live with you at that address? Sometimes. Okay. Right. And where do you happen to work currently? Okay. Perfect. Okay. This is the final question. It's a political question, if you don't mind my asking. But it's also a very necessary question. It'll pretty much tell me everything I need to know about you. Are you ready for it? So, in an ideal world, who would make the rules? A group at the top with all the wealth, or the people at the bottom with no wealth? Are you a capitalist? We love that here. There we go. Now, give me one moment. I just quickly have to make some measurements of your head. Real quick. There we go. Oh no, it's just so that way it's easier to identify you. There we go. Now stay very still. I'm going to be measuring your neck next. So stay very still. I'm just going to be going around here, measuring that out. Very good. Okay, now stay very still. I'm going to be measuring the length of your body. I mean, you could tell me your height, but it might be off. It's better that I measure it. That way it's completely on point. And now I'm going to be measuring the width of your body. So stay very still. Okay, here we go. Very good. Now, how does this feel around your neck? Can you breathe? You can't breathe. Do you feel like oxygen is very important to you? Is there a way for you to breathe if you're not breathing through your mouth? Did you find a way to breathe, like, aside from your mouth? You haven't? Okay, good. You should know about that. Very good. Give me one moment. I want you to just open your mouth for me. Nice and wide. Okay, good. I just want you to swallow this rock real quick. Swallow it, like, all the way down. Just let it just go through you. Okay, good. Okay, so I just wanted to see if you would do it, and you did it. So that's like a great sign. That means you do what you're told. That will hurt you on your way out if you've ever heard of kidney stones. Yeah, you kind of have an impression of how it's gonna exit your body, but most members have gone through this process, and some of them have passed away while passing the stone. But that's kind of like a, like a membership trial, just to see if you can actually surpass it. I'm going to be brushing you now for any sort of like skin flakes. We just want to make sure that we have a really good DNA register on you on file, okay? Yes, I get it that you're not like completely an Illuminati member so far, but we like to make sure that we know who knows about us and who has shown interest in joining us. We don't like having any surprises. We've had surprises before, and frankly, we were not impressed. So just stay very still. Just going to be swiping you for some skin flakes. There we go. There we go. We're just going to be collecting that real quick. Running some tests on it, whatnot. Seeing where you've been so far, what your activity has been for the last 20 years. Seeing who you've met with, who you've spoken with. Who you might or might not have had an affair with, who might or might not have bore your illegitimate children, all of that nice, preliminary stuff. There we go, just a little bit more. We just need very comprehensive DNA samples. Do you know about the Teflon Project? How they collected like 69,000 blood samples? Right. So we're gonna need, DNA sampling that's that comprehensive. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So we're just going to take a little bit more. Okay. Excellent. Speaking of blood samples, guess what we need? A sample of your blood. So just stay very still. I'm going to be taking it from your eyeball. Eyeballs are very important to us. Have you ever looked at your currency? Yeah, it's like super important to us. Have you ever watched National Treasure with Nicolas Cage? Yeah, it's very important to us. Duh. So we're going to be taking a blood sample out of your eyeball. I want you to do this for me real quick. Yeah, real quick. I'm just going to be taking some blood right from your eyeball. Just right there. Okay, stay very still for me. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. Okay, very good. Once more. Stay very still for me. I'm just going to be taking another one right there. Okay. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. I was speaking Latin. Yeah. If you've ever learned Latin, French, medical terms, and a lot of philosophy terms start to make a lot of sense. I would highly recommend it. Oh my God, wait a minute. That's kind of like a secret to the trade. That's why they don't teach Latin in public schools. They don't want the obedient workers to make connections. So, let's just begin. I'm going to be marking you up now. It seems that we've had some conclusive evidence on your blood sample. We know your blood type now. It's very fast acting. Only the poor get slow results. The rich, though, it's within milliseconds. I'm not going to lie. Do you think centuries worth of innovation did not give us the best of the best? You just don't know about it. So I'm just going to be... This is defective. I'm going to get another pen. I'm going to toss this one out for its insolence. And we're just using one of these pens. Okay, so I'm just going to be marking this real quick. Right on your forehead. Right there. Yeah. Right there. Perfect. Okay. And we're on our way. Now, I want you to just do a simple color examination for me. It's just a little cognitive test. We just want to make sure that you can kind of keep up with the very basic minimum sort of qualifications. Tell me, which one is the yellow highlighter? Point to it. Right. Which one is the orange highlighter? Point to it. Okay. So I noticed that you could spot things out based off of how it appears. Would you say that you're a snitch of any sort? Okay. Yeah, totally. Here. I want you to just get that on recording. Right there. Just right there. I'd like you to say that you're not a snitch. Right? This will be held against you in a court of law. Do you remember that one guy who he exposed the Iran-Contra conflict? And of all the people who were involved in the Iran-Contra conflict, including the President Reagan and all of, like, the generals and all of the mob, mob-esque sort of like affiliates who would transfer the money from Iran to the Sandinistas, I think it was. Do you remember who was the one who got executed? It was the whistleblower. Yeah. Do you remember who's the one where of all of that information that got leaked about how the government is tracking your every action and how they're watching you at all times? Edward Snowden. Do you know who was the one who was being tried for treason? Edward Snowden, the whistleblower. Yeah. Do you know about all of the guys who could have attested to how JFK's assassination was a little bit dubious, a little bit suspicious, and how within, 2 years of his death, all of them were curiously died of mysterious circumstances, all 21 of them. Yeah. You know why? We don't like snitches. So would you mind just saying right there that you would never snitch on us? It's just that way if you do, we could take you to court over it and execute you for treason. Right there. If you wouldn't do it, then don't do it. Just say it, okay? Just go ahead. You're in already kind of deep, okay? Have you ever been to a Scientology building? By the time you fill out the personality questionnaire, you're kind of a little bit deep in it now. So just answer the question. Okay, perfect. You're doing so good. Okay. Now I want you to just stare at the bottom ball right here. They're going to be asking you a lot. That same question, to stare at the bottom blue ball. And I want you to follow the bottom blue ball as it swings back and forth. Trust me, these are questions that are going to be asked of you constantly. Follow it as it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No, this is not the hypnosis trial. Trust me, if we were going to hypnotize you, we would douse you with acid. Have you ever heard of MK Ultra, Ted Kaczynski, kind of Charles Manson? Come on now. This is just to see if you would obey. Okay, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Good little doggy. Did you know that that sort of hypnosis really only works on people who would allow themselves to obey those commands? That's why the ones who are more lenient on obedience and or those who have a good discipline about allowing themselves to obey get kind of like, lulled into that trance. But no one can really escape being doused with acid and tortured for hours on end as they continue to be doused in acid. It's kind of insane. So it seems like you are a perfect candidate for us. All I'm saying is that we have a USB file of all of your family's whereabouts. We found it by just tracking them within the past 10 minutes of your interview. Unfortunately, if you were to do anything, your family might be a little bit at risk. That's just kind of like a forewarning. We will be assessing your application, and if we find that we don't like you as a candidate, we will take the next step. And if we do like you as a candidate, then we will take the next step. Are there any questions? No questions. Good. You should get used to not questioning anything. Very good. Well, ta-ta.